Hello and welcome back to the show. As always, I'm your driver Spencer, sitting shotgun as Breck, and this week we're the podcast asking the important questions like, are all psychics therapists terrible? Is homage always a good thing? Can you send up too close to the sun? This is Be Afraid of the Dark.
I don't think you can.
I don't think you can, but we're going to get into it.
We're going to get into it for
that's
sure.
in a little bit, though. We got 2 episodes today. Starting with Season 2, Episode 10, Hunted, written by Rael Tucker, directed by Rachel Talalay, I think is how you say it.
Sure.
Girl
director.
This is a very cool episode.
Very fun episode.
I like this one.
We have a recurring character. We get a new recurring character. All sorts of great stuff set up in this episode.
Many guest starrings on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just go ahead and get into it. We get an opening shot of a tape recorder.
Whoa.
And I don't mean that as like an audio. I mean, literally, there's a tape in there.
It's awesome. Awesome.
So,
I love the Magnus Archives.
Yeah, love some old tape. We pan up, and we are in like a therapist office with 2 characters we don't know. One of them looks very disheveled. He's a younger guy, about Sam's age. And he is talking about his troubles, his nightmares, his migraines.
How he can electrocute things by touching them
and the therapist kind of jots down a note. We got a crappy therapist. We get a banger of a needle drop in here.
Oh, White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane, baby.
Yeah. Very cool. And so as he's talking about this, he kind of extends his hand and the therapist won't take it because he's like, maybe he's not wrong, I guess, whatever. He doesn't want to indulge in this, as the therapist thinks, fantasy.
Yeah, because the therapist is like, I believe that you believe.
Yeah, and we don't know at this point. Maybe it is real. Maybe it's not real. We don't know. But that happens. White Rabbit is playing as he starts talking about the man with the yellow eyes.
And you're like, oh.
And he's talking about all the things the man with the yellow eyes wants of them.
And he's like, I killed the neighbor's cat. And he's like, did you want to do that? And he's like, not really, but the guy with the yellow eyes told me I had to prepare me. Yeah,
and we get a little more on that a little later, but to prepare him is the important note there. Then I kind of, that scene ends and I put a note as often written in this journal, which is shows used to have lighting.
Shows used to have lighting.
This is a guy who's in like 2 scenes of a show, and he's walking down the street, and it looks like The Exorcist, like literally just beams of light,
and then like
fog.
White Rabbit is playing, which is like a moody, creepy song.
So he's walking. Things seem weird. He kind of gets spooked, turns around, and bam, a knife right into his chest, and it like rips up and really violently kills him.
So creepy. And I love too that like you see the reflection of someone in the car like window behind him. So creepy to me.
So, it's a really good cold open because again, it's weird that somebody just stabbed him with a knife.
And
we don't know what that's about.
What the hell? You're like, this is supernatural.
Yeah, there's supposed to be monsters. Yeah.
Curious.
So then we cut to the where Croatoan left off, which is Dean saying, "Dad told me something about you." We get the reveal, and the reveal is that John said, "You need to look out for Sam. You need to save him, and if you can't, you need to kill him."
And you're like,
"Ba-ba-bum."
And now, why'd you say that, John?
Yeah,
Jonathan, if that even is your real name.
Yeah, and Sam, very justifiably, doesn't take that well.
No, he's like, what the hell? Why did you keep that from me? Because literally, what the hell? Why did you keep that from him?
And he's like, I kind of wrote, it's like Dean is clearly like tail spinning here and he doesn't know what to do, but Sam is in the right for being this pissed off.
Yeah. And I mean, and Dean even says that to him. He's like, you're pissed. I get it. I would be like, I get it.
And of course, John putting everything on Dean. As always, John is the worst. But so then essentially this argument boils down to Sam wanting to know what's going on and Dean wanting to just lay low until he can figure it all out, and then they'll think about doing something. Yeah. Dean's ready to run and hide and Sam's ready to fight, and that's kind of the big tension of this episode, more or less.
It's kind of a shift of their dynamic too.
Very true, and they kind of point that out next episode a little bit.
Which is really cool. And then the line that Dean has here that really makes me sad is, I wish to God he'd never opened his mouth.
Yeah.
It's like...
Well, then not only that, there's Sam has a really good line here, I think, but essentially Dean keeps trying to like argue the point, and Sam just goes, "Geez, if you aren't careful, you will have to waste me one day, Dean." And you're like, "Oh no, the boys are fighting.
The girls are fighting.
Lock up your silverware, Mom, because the boys are fighting."
But yeah, it's
Yeah, so
it's a depressing conversation.
It's very depressing conversation. I feel really bad for both of them.
Yeah.
You know, Dean is completely losing it, and Sam is furious, very justifiably. Yeah.
And a lot of Dean's behavior now kind of retrospectively makes more sense.
He's been carrying even more than Sam has. Sam's been dealing with the loss of his father and the fact that he's a psychic and kind of those fears, but Dean's been dealing with the fears of Sam being a psychic, the loss of his father, and the new burden that John just put on him.
Yeah, and on top of that, knowing that John died to save him.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot. Like his, like, remember going back to not Children Should Play with Dead, but the clown is like his dead face watching the pyre. Like, oh boy, that was a lot of information I just received.
So they're just like essentially like, let's get to the roadhouse, let's figure something out. So we cut to that night, they're at a motel, and Sam sneaks out with a bag. He steals a car and he's on his way. Now this bit is a little confusing, and we'll talk about it once we get to the part that makes it confusing.
Yeah.
It's an odd, the way they edit this specifically is odd.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah. So anyway, Sam steals a car. He's ditching Dean. And then it cuts to him breaking into like a deteriorated, like rundown house with like graffiti all over it, and it's destroyed. And he's like, I put my note literally is, let me see. I went, a Winchester skulking through an old building. This becomes a staple even more than it already is.
Very much so. And he's like studying a paper before he goes inside.
He's got a paper with a motel logo on it, and we just assume that's because that's where it gets confusing a little bit, where you're just like, wait, what? Because you think it's a flash forward, but they don't indicate that.
Yeah.
But that happens. He goes in, he's kind of sneaking through the dark, and his foot hits a tripwire. And this is where the episode cheats.
Yeah.
Because the tripwire pulls the pin of a grenade. He goes, and it blows up, and blood splatters on the lens, literally on the lens. And very cool effect.
You see like a shoe.
Yeah, you see a shoe literally with blood on it, and it's smoking. And we realize this is a vision.
Yes. And then, Ava, our newly introduced character, wakes up in the night and is like, and you realize this is a nightmare that she's had.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, okay, we've got
Ava
another
played by
Catherine Isabel,
who we love.
She is a horror icon, and she is one of our modern scream queens. Check out Ginger Snaps if you haven't.
Seriously, Ginger Snaps, underrated classic.
Phenomenal. Ginger Snaps like ran so that Jennifer's body could also run.
Yeah, very true.
I hesitate to even say that Ginger Snaps walked.
Ginger Snaps rules. That movie's awesome.
Ginger Snaps, and also later we have her sister from that movie, who I cannot remember the name of the actress right now. Later comes to play a recurring character as well. So,
well, I should also add that I am first familiar with Catherine Isabel from Psych.
Yes.
So Psych did this really fun thing, and I believe this is the 2 episodes she's in, because she's in 2 episodes playing the same character. But the first one is an episode, and the second one is a remake of that episode.
It's hilarious.
Such a good idea. One of my favorite conceptual episodes in TV is that they very openly remake an old episode and bring back a lot of that original cast.
So great.
So I believe she comes in both of them.
Hilarious.
Super,
love her.
Yeah, super fun. Love Catherine Isabel. She's having a blast here, and it's super awesome.
And I don't want to say this like in a negative way, because everyone in this show acts, but she's low-key acting circles around everybody in a way that I just really...
In this?
Yeah.
You think so?
I not even in like a bad way. I just love the energy she brings.
Oh, that's the thing, is she gets the fun role in this. Like everyone else is a little burdened by like what's going on, and she's just like,
she's like, anyway.
She's like, I got my headaches and my weird visions, but I'm hanging out with Jared Padalecki.
And I just all of her line deliveries in this are great. But yeah, so she wakes up in bed with, we find out who her fiance, and she's
I think it's a great misdirect too, where it's not Sam having a vision about his death, because up till this point he hasn't met another psychic who has his exact power.
Yes.
And he just has.
He's only met we had Simon said, so we had the guy who could the guys who could tell people things, and then we had Max, who was telekinetic. And then Sam has had
zappy hand guy,
zappy hand guy who was like maybe having nightmares.
Yeah. Well, because I think all of them have nightmares, but not all of them have visions. Because the nightmares, I think, are the yellow-eyed demon speaking to them and communicating with them. Anyway, so this is where this episode gets confusing, right? Like that's a great reversal. But the thing about it that gets confusing is Sam. Those two are not linear. Like the vision is a flash forward, but the way you watch it, it feels like he's going from the motel to this place. And I think that's the point. But then he walks into the roadhouse, and Ellen goes, hey, everybody like stops and looks at Sam, and they're all cleaning their knives and doing their hunter things. And Ellen's like, hey, Sam. and they have a conversation, and she's like, I got to call Dean, right? Dean's been calling. He's worried sick about you.
Yeah, like, and Sam's like, Dean's probably been calling me. Like, but Dean's probably been calling to see if I'm here and like blah, blah. So.
I love Ellen because her little thing here, and we find out too that Joe is not there.
Yes, Joe is... Joe came back and wanted to keep hunting, and Ellen, she's like, and I said, not under my roof, and Joe said, fine. So she's like, she sends a postcard every now and then, but... And
Sam's essentially like, I'm probably the last person you want to see, and this is why I love Ellen. She's she gives this good line. She's like, as much as I would like to pin it on you boys, she can't. She's like, I forgave John a long time ago.
Yeah, I wrote down her line, and it's I forgive your daddy. I forgave your daddy a long time ago for my bill, but I don't think he ever forgave himself.
Yeah, which I think is great.
Like Ellen, one of the best characters on the show.
I love her. She's genuinely one of the best characters. She kind of fills she is right now what Bobby like later becomes, which is not really a spoiler. Jim Beaver comes back. We've talked about that.
We haven't seen Bobby since episode 1 though.
Yeah, he originally was just kind of like a pop in and out guy, and then he becomes a much more integral character, which those are some of my favorite Supernatural times.
Yeah, it's also, this is back when Supernatural like wrote women kind of better.
Yeah.
And they're not quite as proppy as they can kind of be later. Like, look. We'll get into it later. But yeah, I think Ellen is like one of the best written characters on this show. Because they could be so cheap about having her be like irrational and be like, oh, I'm so pissed at you guys because your dad killed like my husband. And then like Joe went on one hunt with you guys and now wants to hunt. But like, she's like, I get it. Like, this is just what happens. Like, she's wanted to do this her whole life. Yeah. So.
Well, okay. So then Sam asks to talk to Ash. And he wants to start tracking down the other psychics. And so they're like, I thought there wasn't a pattern. He's like, yes, but there is for some of them. The 6-month birthday, house burning down, mom dying, it becomes a pattern for at least some. So then they, Ash does it. He walks back in with a list and he's like, bada bing, I did it, because Ash is the best.
Yeah. Legend.
He offers it to Sam. He's like, there are 4 names. And they read the names and all 3 of the 4 they know, right? Like,
yes. So the first one is obviously Sam. The second one is Max from our Nightmare episode. And the third one is our homeboy from the Simon Said episode. And
then this new one, and I don't remember the guy's name. It's the guy who died in the cold open.
Yeah.
They're like, Sam goes, do you have an address? And he went, sort of. And he explains that he has the cemetery address and the plot number.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, he's dead. And he's like, he died a month ago in Indiana.
Yeah.
So then Sam gets up, and this is a great little character touch, and I'm glad they added it, is that Ash grabs Sam's half-drunken beer and starts drinking it.
I didn't even notice.
So it made me laugh so hard.
That guy's incredible. But yeah, so, and we find out he didn't just die, he was murdered.
Yes, he was murdered.
And we're like, this is our guy from the cold open.
Yeah, and so Sam is here quite literally trying to be proactive in a way that Dean does not want to be. Which I think is really great.
And I love his line, Sam's line here too, is, I'm trying to find answers about who I am. My brother means well, but he can't protect me.
Yeah, and that's Ellen being like, I have to call him, and Sam's like, don't call him. And so then we leave that kind of ambiguous, and Sam's on his way. He gets there, right, and he's talking to, as you point out, I literally wrote, once again, they're talking to a destroyed man, father of the dead psychic.
They're like, and now we're going to bother the deceased loved ones.
At least it's Sam who's like respectful about it.
Sam's not like being a shit. He's like, I was friends with him in high school and blah, blah. And he's like, Scott's not the same. I found, his name's Scott.
Yes. And well, the information he finds out is that about a year ago, he started getting these headaches, then he was depressed, and then he was paranoid
and scared.
Right. So the same pattern that has always been followed. And Sam just goes, can I see his room? Sam's looking through his room. He finds a pile of meds. And he snakes one to get the doctor's name off of it specifically. He pockets that, and then he opens the closet and moves the curtains. And I think this is a really fun, weird, like big over-the-top details that, what was his name?
Scott.
Scott has plastered the back of his closet with cutouts that he is
of
yellow eyes. And some of them he's like scratched on yellow and colored.
It's so
and other ones
creepy.
are like, really creepy.
He's
and
like,
fun.
I'm going to look through his closet, and he's like, huh? Like, there's clearly stuff behind the clothes, and like that's a shot that's burned into my brain for whatever reason.
Yeah,
is just like the way that like the yellow-eyed demon, and we don't get him speaking obviously as much to Sam because he knows he can't get away with it with Sam.
Yes,
but like the concept of like we're finding out that the yellow-eyed demon isn't just like it's not, they're not like free-range chickens where he's just like, have fun out there, I'll check in.
Tabs,
he's keeping tabs, and on some of them he's pushing them way harder.
It's really good.
It's really good.
So that's cool. Sam goes back to the motel.
Yes.
The motel, I should note, from the card he has at the beginning, the motel slip.
Yes.
With the address on it of where he goes and gets fake blown up. So he gets there and then he realizes someone's sneaking up on him. He grabs her, he grabs Catherine Isabel Ava and slams her against the wall. He's like, why are you following me?
She's like, you're going to die. You're in danger. Like,
cut inside. They're hanging out in the motel room and she's explaining everything. She's like, you probably think I'm crazy. I literally, a thing that made me laugh is she goes, I'm normal. I don't do drugs.
I don't do drugs.
Right. And she's trying to explain.
I don't do cocaine.
Yeah.
I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah. So she's explaining to Sam what's happening and she's like, you probably think I'm crazy. And Sam is taking this fully in stride.
Sam's like, no.
He's like, this is Tuesday to me.
Whatever.
Then we get along in that and then Sam's like, I don't think you're crazy. I'm psychic too. And she immediately doesn't believe him.
She goes, oh, so you're nuts. That's good.
Yeah, I love that.
You're like, girl.
It's so funny.
You just told it because she also just told him that she had a dream about a week ago
about
a month ago that she saw this guy die in a parking lot. And then a week later, she finds a newspaper with Scott being murdered.
Which is a really cool detail. And so Sam realizes like, we're connected. And she's like, no, I'm going back to my life. You see this ring. I'm getting married in 8 weeks. And I have all this stuff I'm behind on. And
she's like, I'm a secretary from Peoria.
Yeah, I wrote Ava's normal ass stuck in the middle of all this is like so funny and sad.
And it's so sad because she's also serving mega cunt. Like
she's serving. Yeah,
she looks so good, and like I love how she looks different from the other like women that we normally see. Like for we haven't had a whole lot of like we've been seeing a lot of hunter women lately, or like more rough and tumble women, and then there's just like this cute perky little secretary who's like la la la. Yeah. Oh God, the horse. Yeah. Like,
well, so Sam kind of convinces her. He's like, we need to look into this. We have essentially what he says is like, if you leave now, you may never know the truth.
Yeah.
Right, and that gets her.
Yeah.
So cut to her in the therapist's office.
Yes.
And she's like, I'm anxious. Like she doesn't know what to say. She's undercover at the therapist's office, and she's like, well, what else? And so she starts talking. And then we see Sam's ginormous body shimmying across on the outside of the like second or third story building they're at to get past. And she's like, oh my God. And he's like, what? And they turn and birds fly by. And
she's like, I just remembered when I was a kid, I ate like 6 packets of Pop Rocks and drank a can of Coke. Do you think that counts as a suicide attempt?
Like that's so dark.
It's so funny. Shout out to Urban Legend, the movie.
Yeah, which is actually a pretty fun movie. A lot of people don't love it. It's fun. It's not great, but it's fun.
But then right before this, actually, we kind of skipped over it, is Ellen calls Dean. And you know, he's like, Ellen, please tell me. I don't remember if she calls him or he calls her.
Yeah, you're right.
But they have this conversation about, like, okay, I guess I'll tell you where he's at.
Well, she's like, not only that, he's saying, please, you got to give me something.
Yeah.
Because he says, Ellen lets him know that he was there, but he said not to tell her. And she says, you know, you can't protect your loved ones forever. And then she goes, I think that's a load of crap, essentially. You wrote it down.
She says, well, Dean, they say you can't protect your loved ones forever. Well, I say screw that. What else is family
and she tells him. And then Dean just hangs up the phone and keeps driving.
Yeah.
So then we cut back and Ava walks into the motel room in front of Sam and she looks super worried and Sam's like, hey, are you okay? And she turns around and she's like, I just helped you steal a dead guy's medical forms. I'm awesome.
Like, love her. She was ready to clown.
Yeah, it literally, her having fun is just a great detail
she loves
in
shenanigans.
Here. Yeah. So that's a really great. They continue talking. They listen to the recording.
Yes.
And the recording essentially says it's
Scott.
Scott. Thank you. I'm so bad with names.
That's why I have to write them down, because otherwise I'd be like, yeah, the guy who died.
It is it's Scott talking on about the yellow-eyed demon, and the reveals here. No, okay, I have this in reverse. We're cross-cutting here.
Yes.
So they start listening, and it's Scott talking to his therapist, and then Dean pulls up outside. And Dean looks in, and he sees, and Sam's like in the window, and he leans against the window in a really silly way.
Yeah, where you're like, for sure he's doing this.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, at least you're safe. And then he steps out of the way, and
he sees Ava.
And he's like, and you're getting some, my boy Sammy. Baby. And it's like, you're such a. I love that he's just relieved he's okay, and then kind of happy that he might be getting some.
So funny.
It's really funny.
Dude, they're clearly like distraught and listening to something. He's so.
And
funny.
So then Scott talks about how there are other psychic children, and there's a war coming, and they're going to be soldiers, and everything's going to change.
Yeah.
Which is the first time we've heard that specific like terminology.
It's the first time we've heard this revealed of exactly what the yellow-eyed demon
there's
is
a
planning.
Much bigger plot.
Yes, it's not just like he's running around causing mayhem for shits and gigs. Like he's very clearly like, no, this is what, like, I'm creating soldiers in a war.
Yeah, so they find out about this, and Sam and Ava are clearly shaken up, and then sniper.
Yeah.
A suppressed round goes through the window, shatters it, hits above Sam's head. They go down. He grabs her and he's protecting her, and there's another shot, and we get kind of a glimpse on the roof, and it's very easy to tell that it is Gordon. Gordon is returned for some kind of payback, we believe.
Yes.
And it is that, but there's more to it.
Yes.
And then out of nowhere, he's like zeroing in on Sam's head, and Sam's poking up, and then Dean goes, Gordon, and he kicks him in the face.
It's so crazy.
He gets on top of him, and he unloads just punch after punch after punch, and it's like Gordon is completely unfazed. I wish they toned that down. Like, I like Dean's wrath, but there's no one on earth that could take that level of damage and then just be totally fine.
Oh yeah, no.
Because Gordon literally, he's kind of like, Dean, wait. And then he picks up the butt of his gun, knocks him off of him, and then knocks Dean out.
Yeah.
And they get out of there.
Yeah.
Then they get, and he ate that in kind of an impossible way. That's not a real complaint. It's cool. It's a great action beat, but it is like, what the hell? That was crazy.
You're like, whoa. Okay.
Sam gets up on the roof.
And he's like looking, and then he's like, yes, this was a suppressed sniper. And
yeah, and she's like, who are you?
Because you're like, oh yeah, he hasn't really like
he hasn't given her the monster talk, I don't think.
Which I don't think he does, like, at all, which is really fun because there's no monsters in this episode. Like, she would not believe him. Like,
I know. It's so funny.
In a fun twist, like, they're the monsters in this episode. Like, which is, again, something that they've played with a lot in this season so far, is like these like ongoing like black and white gray morality like questions, which is of course leading up to a lot.
Gordon is the representation of the danger of a black and white lifestyle, where it's like if everything is one way or the other. Like, anyway, so then we he's like, he gets at his phone. She's like, who are you calling? He's like, my brother. We need help.
Yeah.
And Dean answers, even though we know he's knocked out, and he's talking all fine and chipper, and he's like, are you safe? And we cut to Dean tied to a chair with Gordon holding a gun on him.
Yes.
And I'll let you speak on this if you would like.
Because he gets off, again, you know we love a code word. We love a code phrase. So Dean's like, yeah, I'm here in wherever they are, Indiana. It's a real funky town. And blah, blah, blah. And then you can see visibly on Sam's face after. Yeah. Like, oh, something's wrong. Yeah. Like, which is really fun. Like, and you're like, what? What do you mean? And then she's like, what? He's like, he hangs up and he's like, my brother's in trouble. And she's like, why do you mean? Like, what are you talking about? And he's like, no, he said someone's holding a gun on him. He used our code word. Yeah.
So Funky Town is code for gun on me.
Yeah.
And the thing I always like about this is Dean's really selling it. Like, he's like, Sam's like, someone's after us. Like, what? Are you okay? Like, right? He sells it for Gordon, who's in the room, trying to hide the fact that there's a code word. Doesn't work. I mean, we find that out pretty immediately.
Gordon later is like, I'm sure you found a way to warn him somehow.
But Gordon hangs up, puts the phone away. He's like, now, was that so hard? Dean just gives one of our first, I think, of a catchphrase of his, not the first one, but one of our first ones.
Oh, bite me.
Bite me.
Love it.
Nobody says bite me quite like Jensen Ackles. No. Anyway, and then he starts taunting Gordon. He's like, Dean loves nothing more than to be a wise ass when he's in a life endangered situation.
We have not learned a single lesson.
No.
That cop held you at gunpoint in handcuffs like 3 episodes ago, and he's like, and I think I'm gonna keep doing this to people who hold
but
me.
what I love about this is he's like, oh, last time we saw you, we had you tied up in your own filth for 3 days, which was awesome. Like, and he's being this it's funny. So then Gordon says, he's like, I'm a hunter, I'm not a killer. Essentially, he starts having this monologue where he's talking about Sam's fair game.
Yeah. He says specifically, I'm not a killer, Dean, I'm a hunter, and Sam's fair game.
Yeah, and then he like cocks his gun or
with his
whatever.
beautiful face.
Sterling
and voice.
K. Brown. I love you, Sterling K. Brown. You're literally the best. Please be in more movies.
Like, literally.
But anyway, so he starts talking about how he was doing an exorcism and just to some low level demon or whatever, and he's like, between all the head spinning and whatever, he's like, it muttered something about psychic, something about a war.
Said about a war.
Yeah. And so he's like, it was enough to pique my interest. And he's like, if you have the right tools, you can make a demon say just about anything.
And Dean's like, and what happened to the girl that it was possessing? And Gordon's like, she didn't make it.
Which is, he says, the great thing about Gordon, the thing that makes him so scary, and the best choice that Sterling K. Brown makes is the characters, how level-headed he plays everything.
Oh, yeah.
He's so calm about it all. At least on the surface. Like you can tell everything's boiling under, but his like demeanor in every dangerous situation, he's just like right here.
Yeah, he's like, whatever, she didn't make it. Who
it's
cares?
really good. So he starts talking about that and he's like, and lo and behold, I know one of them.
Yeah.
Sam Winchester.
Yeah.
And Dean's like really trying to sell. He's like, that's crazy. And he goes, Dean's line is, I think it's a really funny line. He goes, because a demon told you? Yeah. And it wasn't lying, right? Which is very true. It's like he's trying everything and
he's trying everything because he knows that like
yeah,
it's just a few, because there's no way to disprove it, because like even like it's not like Gordon likes Sam, and it's like he can rely on like their good rapport.
And this is definitely about revenge. Like he's also wants to kill Sam.
And he says it to it. He's like, this isn't just like this. It's like, sure, it's a little bit about getting back at both of you.
Well, but I should also note that he also reveals that he killed Scott at the beginning.
Yes.
So both of Gordon's cold opens, the episodes he's been in, he's been the monster hunter at the beginning that does the killing.
Crazy.
Which is really a cool idea.
Very cool. And then we cut back to...
Well, no, sorry. Before we cut back...
Oh, yeah.
He explains, he's like, you think Sam's just going to waltz in here? He's like, no, he's going to see me covering the front door, and I'm going to put a tripwire. And he's like, you think a tripwire is going to work? And he's like, no, I'm going to put 2.
And you're like, oh.
Right? And so then we cut to...
Sam and Ava talking.
He's like, you need to go. Yeah. So
and she's like, but this is literally the dream I just had where you died, and like it literally were exploded by a grenade. And she says something, she's like, something about harm's way or something, and he just goes, harm's way doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, it was really funny.
So funny.
So he convinces her to go, but he says he'll call her if he gets Dean back.
Yes, and he wants her to call him when she gets home safely.
So then we cut back to Gordon setting up the tripwire, and he's talking to Dean, and he's essentially, I'm sorry about this, and Dean at this point is getting stressed and panicky. He's like, come on, let's talk. You don't have to do this. You really think Sam's more of a saint than I am?
Yeah.
He feels guilty surfing the internet for porn. Like
literally.
And he's
sorry, I just realized in my notes that actually I don't think Gordon told him any of that until this conversation about the war.
No,
everything.
it was the other one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, I have that marked before that scene.
Oh.
Yeah, he tells me what he tells him in this one is he brings up John. He's like, at least you're not your father, because him it would have killed him, but at least he would have done it if he didn't have a choice. And he gags Dean, and I was like, never bring up John to the Winchester boys.
No, I'm like. The amount of like, if looks could kill in this episode, Gordon would have died about 200 times.
Totally, right?
Like Dean is getting off some really, truly like heinous, like behind the gag, like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah. So you're right. That look he gives him when he's gagging, he just looks over with this like, I'm gonna slit your throat, kind of like
whoa,
really good. Anyway, we get to Sam getting there. He kind of walks up. He sees exactly like the dream plays out, except now we know it's Gordon. He sees Gordon in the front, goes around the back. Unlocks the lighting in this sequence is great with just like pillars of light coming from who knows where, and I love it. He picks the lock, walks in, we cut to Gordon inside, and Dean's like kind of panicky, and boom.
And the way Dean is like screaming and crying behind the gag in this
he's like getting ready, trying to Hulk out and kill Gordon. But anyway, that happens, and then Gordon is a psycho, like he's an absolute
crazy,
psychopath.
Dude.
He is so calm. He's like, wait and see, waiting for the next one to blow up. And then the next one blows up, and a little bit more of a CGI blow up, but it's because it has to like blow a wall right next to him. It's a safety thing. I'm fine with it. And then Gordon gets up with his rifle and like walks over, and he sees this the boot from the beginning.
Smoking boot. Instead of the smoking gun, it's the
smoking boot. Then gun to the back of his head. Mm-hmm. Sam's got the drop on him.
Sam's tripped the wires safely and is holding a gun to Gordon now.
Yes. And so now he's like, oh, you're really going to shoot me, Sammy? Keeps calling him Sammy, which you don't do to Sam unless you're Dean. Mm-hmm. Keeps calling him Sammy. He's like, your brother here says you're a saint. He's like, yeah, I wouldn't be so sure about that. And then Gordon says, and that's what I said. And he gets the gun, and we get Winchester versus Gordon 2. This time Sam versus Gordon. And this fight lasts even is shorter than the last one.
Yep.
Plot reasons, Gordon clearly can take a punch, but Sam knocks out Gordon, knocks him down, holds the gun to him, and Gordon's like, do it. Prove him wrong, prove me right, which, by the way, is a pet peeve of mine. Mm-hmm. I hate this, like, prove him right thing when clearly you are doing something to, like, it's a self-defense thing, or it's a, like, you have no other choice thing. It's like, I get it. I get the emotional side of it, but like that guy it's always been a pet peeve of mine and things. That's not anything on the writing. It works. These actors play it super well.
Yeah.
It's just something I don't love. Anyway, he's got him beat. He knocks him out.
It. Well, the important part is go ahead and kill me, Sammy. And then Sam goes, whoosh.
Knocks him out. He's
it's like, Sam.
Which is great. It's fantastic.
It's so great.
He walks in and he's like stumbling in, bleeding, and he like falls and he's like, ugh, and he undoes Dean, and Dean like rips his other one off and stands up, and he's happy. He's fine.
Like the desperate way they're like being like, "Are you good? Are you good?" Ugh.
Yeah. So then he, Dean goes to walk over to the other room to get Gordon, and Sam grabs him. He's like, "Trust me, Gordon's taken care of. Let's get out of here."
Yeah.
They start walking out. They're outside, and I love this shot of Gordon like fully in silhouette stepping out of the house with that kind of like monster cue they use a lot.
Really cool.
They shoot him like a monster. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So he rushes out and pulls up a gun sideways and shoots. And then he's like chasing after him, double shooting guns. And they dive behind some cover on the other side of a road. And Sam's like, wait. And then all these cops crash around him.
All these cops come like running. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. Gordon is arrested. They go on about...
Sam goes, anonymous tip.
Anonymous tip. And yeah, Dean kind of chuckles at that. He says, Sam, you upstanding citizen, you. It's really funny.
It's so funny. Because literally, when do they ever... Like, when the nefarious cop calling...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So Sam and Dean are now by the Impala, and Dean is calling Ellen, and he's like, we established that he's insinuating that somebody at the Roadhouse did it, that it was Ellen, Ash, or Joe, who are the only three people who know.
Gordon was like, you have your Roadhouse connections, and I have mine.
And so the Roadhouse is no longer a fully safe place anymore.
Yeah.
It can be dangerous for them. They're mad. Ellen's like, we can keep our mouth shut.
Ellen's like, do you think I control every hunter
and
that
she's
comes
like,
and
I
buys
could
a
name
drink
12
for me?
people who could set this up.
Yeah.
Like, right?
She's like,
she knows.
I know a lot of smart people who could put this pattern together and figure it out.
So anyway, they start driving. They have this conversation, and it's
and Sam's calling Ava,
and she's not answering.
And she's not answering. And he's like, how far is Peoria? They're trying to get to Peoria to go check.
And then the conversation they're having is essentially Dean's like, let's Amsterdam. I heard the coffee shops don't even sell coffee, right? So he wants to go, and Sam's like, I'm doing the job. He's used the phrase, I'm facing this head on.
Yeah.
And he's like, and if I'm going to keep hunting, and if you want to protect me,
you're just going to have to come along.
You're just going to have to tag along, right? And Sam's like, you can't protect me. And Dean's like, I can try. Whatever. Really good stuff.
Yeah.
Dean has a really good line here that I want to say. He's like, we don't get paid, we don't get thanked, all we get's bad luck. And I think it's a really good line.
Because he goes specifically, screw it, I'm sick of the job. We don't get paid, we don't get thanked. The only thing we get is bad luck.
Sam's like, you were meant to be a hunter. He's like, I wasn't meant to be anything. I don't believe in any of that destiny crap. Sam kind of takes that as like, so you don't believe in my destiny? And Dean's like, sure, whatever. We get our second bitch jerk. Flipping it, which is really great.
I love the way they throw it away too.
Yeah, and kind of chuckle about it. Anyway, really good. They realize Ava's not answering. Sam's got a feeling. They break into the house as they're always doing, and Ava's fiance's like dead. Blood murdered. Everywhere.
Yeah.
They find sulfur by the window.
And her ring.
And her ring. And episode ends. Sad ass ending to a really good episode.
Yeah,
I really like
an
this
episode
one.
of like, it's an episode full of like, which I also enjoy of like in Gordon's last episode, it wasn't really about the hunt, it was about him.
Yeah.
And so again, it's also really fun to just have our first recurring human villain.
Yeah.
It's something we get a lot more of later, like especially in like the later seasons, but it's fun that they're already like branching out and they're like, no, there's a guy who thinks Sam is evil and is trying to kill him. And like this is like it's a really good episode.
All right. Anything we miss?
I don't think so.
Just really rad episode. Okay. Best line?
Well, you said we don't get paid. We don't get thanked. The only thing we get is bad luck.
Yeah. See, mine is the immediate one after this. I wasn't meant to do anything. I don't believe in any of that destiny crap. That's like so Dean Winchester coded.
It's so you coded.
It's very, true. Sure. I don't know. Best kill.
I think it's the opening.
It's the opening. It's scary. It's violent. It's a good one.
Yeah, it's better than we don't get any of the real kills except for her fiance at the end.
Well, yeah, I mean,
you just find
important to note that there's not a kill this episode. Still Sam 1, Dean 5. Very slow season.
Something that will not change next episode either. No, it won't.
Anyway, so moving on to next episode, season 2, episode 11, Playthings, written by Matt Whitten and directed by Charles Beeson.
Okay, 2 first-timers, I think.
2 first-timers, I believe. Matt Whitten might have written one. I don't think he's written one. Anyway, my first note is we get this really cool old house, and we cut inside to the old house, and it's insinuated the place is closing down. It's like it's like a hotel from an old manor.
Yeah, the outside says like the Pierpont Inn.
It's like very cool sign and stuff. So this guy's walking. He's my folks got here, and their folks got engaged here, and their folks got, anyway, she's the patron of this place. Is like, oh yeah, a lot of people. Anyway, the toys are up there, the boxes are up there. You can grab them. This little girl's like, I don't want to move. He's taking my toys. And she's like, you have enough, whatever. And it's two little girls. And
one of them, the one on the right, Maggie goes, son of a bitch. Like,
quietly. And then Tyler goes, son of a bitch. She's like, excuse me. She's like, Maggie said it first. And she's like, tell Maggie to watch her mouth.
Yeah.
We cut to a dollhouse of the house.
Yes.
So I wrote,
so cool.
I wrote dollhouse of the house in the house. Place is haunted.
Yeah.
Immediately the case. So I'm just going to say it now. This is kind of the twist of the episode, but you've watched it if you're listening to this. The friend is imaginary, and it's pretty obvious pretty quick.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, so then Tyler is playing with the dollhouse of the house, and she picks up a doll, and the head is spun completely backwards, and then she hears her mom scream. She runs out, and at the bottom of the stairs, there's the guy, and his head is fully turned around.
And you're like,
blood everywhere, and his mouth is still like...
Which,
so creepy.
By the way, I learned way harder to do than you think.
Yes.
Way harder to do than you think, because
breaking a human neck is difficult. It takes a lot of force.
I did not realize it, but like I was reading The Exorcist still, and they make it a great point that they're like describing how everything has to go in the body for one's head to be turned all the way around. And so every time I see it, I'm like, damn. Yeah. It was really difficult.
So ghost stuff happens. Anyway, we cut to Sam and Dean, and they're in a motel room, and they're no leads on Ava. They've both searched. There's stuff all over the walls.
They say they have like a throwaway line about it. It's been a month.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa.
So it's been a long time. And Sam gets off the phone with Ellen and Dean. They kind of have an exchange, and Dean goes, well, Ellen did tell me about this case, and explains what the cold open was. And Dean goes, he's like, so? And he's like, well, not exactly ordinary. We can go work it.
Yeah.
I told Ellen we'd check it out.
Yeah.
And Dean has this funny bit where he's like, I don't know. This is, doesn't seem like prototype Sam response. He's like, I thought you'd be looking out rainy windows and brooding, and Sam just gives like a healthy explanation of like, look, this is something we can do to help someone. We're going to keep trying on this. And Dean just goes, well, that was the healthiest thing I've ever heard.
And you're like, we're Winchesters. We're supposed to be pushing this down. What's wrong with you?
It's so fun. Anyway, so they get to the house, and Dean's like, I'm actually kind of excited about this. And Sam's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, it's like a classic haunted house.
He's like, it's an old school haunted house.
Foggy fog and whiny British accents. Yeah. And he's like, maybe we'll run into Fred and Daphne. He goes, Daphne, love her.
And you're like, pervert.
And they walk up the steps. Sam looks over and he sees a symbol, which he calls it?
It's a quincux. It's a 5-spot. It's used in hoodoo magic specifically.
Yeah, so he sees it. He's like, maybe this isn't a haunting. They jump to that conclusion kind of quickly.
Yeah.
They realize that Sam's like, isn't this a little... Or Dean's like, isn't this... He says, is this racist to say? I don't...
Isn't this a little white meat for hoodoo? Because it's true. Because, again, hoodoo and voodoo, which... Supernatural showing their work of like... It's specifically a hoodoo and voodoo are very much tied in like the Creole, like black culture. So it's like they're in, we forgot to mention, like middle of nowhere, Connecticut. So yes, it is very much, they're like, why is this here?
Well, so they go inside, they talk to the mom from the beginning, and she's like, oh, he's like, well, we'll take, a room. And she's like, oh, are you antiquers? And Dean's confused.
He's like, sure, yeah.
Sure, yeah. And then she goes, okay, so one king size? And they go, whoa, wait,
whoa. Two singles, we're brothers. And she goes, my apologies.
Yeah, right. So funny.
Which...
Like second or third time this has happened.
It's very funny because I cannot stress you enough. That was a thing that gay couples would use as an excuse.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, be like, no, we're brothers.
Yeah.
Like we're brothers. We'll take 2 separate beds. Like, that's funny. Very much a thing that
anyway, they're given room 237, a Shining. This is Shining, the episode, by the way. It's very much modeled after the Shining.
Multiple references, multiple
the whole episode is the Shining.
It's so fun. I love it.
They turn and there's an
we forgot to mention that Dean bringing up Scooby-Doo is really funny because later
there's a Scooby-Doo crossover.
There is a whole Scooby-Doo animated episode
which
crossover.
Is one of the best episodes of the show.
It's incredible.
Anyway, the 2 girls run by. Sam kind of dodges one of them and ignores the other because she's imaginary. Or she's not imaginary. She's she's there, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The old timer shows up and he goes,
Sherwin.
Yeah, he's like, antiquers, and Dean's like, Dean's super frustrated with it. In a early 2000s vaguely homophobic
in a very
kind of way.
mid 2000s, why does everyone think we're gay?
Yeah, anyway, so then they cut to a shot of the weapons bag being dragged up the stairs, and Dean's like, I could help you with that. He's like, no, I got it. And he's just dragging their guns along the floor.
It's so funny. And he's like talking about how, this was a very like famous like storied hotel. He's like, 2 vice presidents have laid their heads on our pillows, and like, so it had a heyday, and
he's
now
a talker.
And now it's clearly like a dying.
That guy goes for a tip, and Dean has that joke.
You aren't gonna stiff me, are you, boy?
Dean has an earlier joke about how hunters don't tip well.
Yeah,
and it's true because Dean also doesn't tip well. So then they kind of have a conversation. They're trying to figure out what's going on. They start looking around the house.
Yeah. Dean's like creeped out by the fact that there's like a wedding dress hung up on the wall and like.
Well, they knock on the private room, and the owner, the mom, opens the door and she's like, "Can I help you?" And Dean looks up and sees it's awkward. I think they were expecting to be able to break in. Dean looks up and sees all the doll collections. He's like, "Hey, Sam here. He collects dolls. He would never say this. He dresses them up. They never miss a chance to embarrass each other for a cover story." Not. Specifically Dean, and when she finally like relents and Dean's like, Sam's just had to fake admit to all this, he like claps him on the shoulder and they walk in.
So ridiculous.
They ask questions.
We skipped over, but while they're still in the hotel room, we have they figure out like, all the people that have died are people who have helped with the sale.
Yeah.
So we find out that like the realtor died.
Yeah.
that guy died who was like helping
take stuff to Goodwill. They said.
And then we have kind of the best line, some of the best lines of this, where he's like, most disturbing. Dean goes, most disturbing of all. Why do people always assume we're gay? Yeah. And Sam has one of my favorite lines of the entire show. Well, you are pretty butch. Probably think you're overcompensating.
Yeah. Funny stuff.
I think it's funny. I'm bisexual. I can say it's funny.
Yeah. So they get in there. They see the dollhouse. Sam sees the one doll. Tyler runs in, the daughter.
Yeah.
And Sam's like, "Oh, hey, you broke.
Your doll has his head turned backwards.
You want me to fix it?" And she's like, "I didn't break it. I found it like that."
Yeah.
And then like, Maggie broke it, the other little girl.
Yeah.
And we find out about the grandma too. So, the grandma's had health issues. She's still at the house. We get kind of a shot of her up in her little tower.
Like, well, why is she in the Black Christmas attic?
Yes. So we get that. They kind of go out and they're still talking, and they're like, maybe she's throwing it down because they haven't seen her yet.
Yeah.
She's throwing down the voodoo.
Hoodoo.
I'm sorry. She's throwing down the hoodoo, and they decide they're going to split up. Dean's going to go do some research. Sam's going to go do some research. And I love this line of Dean's like, don't go surfing porn. That's not the kind of whacking I mean.
And you're like,
really funny.
Dean, head in the gutter this episode, dude.
Then we get the guy who's handling the company buying this house. They sign on the dotted line. She's like, so what kind of renovations? And he's like, we're going to tear the house down.
Yeah, and you're like,
she's kind of surprised and hurt by that. He goes to his room, and then we get this great cross-cutting sequence where the dollhouse, like the room to the, like there's a doll there, the door creaks open in the dollhouse, the door creaks open in real life. He starts undoing his tie, and then we cut to the dollhouse, and he's hanging from
Tyler walks up and he's hanging.
And then we cut to him hanging.
So creepy.
It's very, it's terrible because he's got like the big old like noose thing. He's
it's so, and like it, I just love it.
It's really good.
I just love it. I think there's something so fun about a creepy dollhouse.
We deal with the cops outside where Sam's looking at him through the thing. Dean goes and talks to the mom. He's like, what happened? And she's like, if you want to leave, I understand.
And he's like, oh, I don't scare that easy.
He goes up and Sam's sitting in the chair and she walks in. He's like,
it's a very, the shot of the door too.
With the key in that's 237.
It's exactly The Shining again.
It is, yeah. And Dean, literally they hold on it. Dean walks in, pulls the key, closes it. It's very much a send up shot.
It's very fun.
Sam starts calling him. Dean calls him bossy, or Sam calls Dean bossy.
You're bossy
and short. And Sam is drunk. Sam is very
drunk as hell.
And he gets up, and this scene culminates with him being like, "Let's get you to bed." And he's like, "No, you need to do what Dad said." He's like, "You need to." Sam's asking him to kill him. Yeah. If it comes, you need to watch out for me.
He's like having this meltdown of like, I couldn't save that guy, and Dean's like, we couldn't have saved that guy. Take a breather. Sam's like, no, you don't understand. The more people I save, maybe the less I'll be evil eventually.
Yeah, and he's like, but Dad told you to, and Dean's like, yeah, and Dad was an ass, And
you're like, yeah. Dad
So,
was an ass. You don't do that. You don't lay that kind of crap on your kids.
Very good. He gets Sam in bed. He's clearly troubled by this, so he leaves the room and he goes and finds the bar where our old timer, the like Sherwin. Sherwin is there, and it's the scene from The Shining.
It's literally he's like walking through all these empty things, and like the way that the bartender is shot, the way that Dean is shot. I'm like,
it's Shining the episode.
The issue is I now want to watch The Shining.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming to IMAX soon.
Yeah.
Or by the time this is out, it will have been through IMAX.
But
well, anyway, we get a great old timer, and Dean's like, you must know this place like every nail, and he goes, you must have some stories. I'd love to hear them. And the old man gives this really earnest, sweet line where he's like, oh, son, don't you know to never ask an old man that? They will start walking through the house, and he's telling him these stories about how it used to be a family estate. And, the Rose, the grandma, grew up there, and he sees a photo And he's like, who is this? And it's the grandma as a little girl, and their nanny with the
5
the
point
hoodoo
with
symbol,
the hoodoo like pendant. And he's like, and the nanny is black. So now we have an explanation as to why these white people know how to do hoodoo.
So when he wakes up, Sam the next morning, Sam's having an awful morning. He's throwing up, and he's like, so they had a nanny who had the symbol. And Sam goes, oh, so they must have taught her. And Dean's
Sam
like,
with his like forehead on the toilet. Like,
yeah.
So you think that she taught Rose hoodoo? Like, it's so funny. He's over there. He's like, there's tequila.
Yeah. So then they break into her little area. Her break in, go up the stairs. Her
creepy black Christmas attic where they leave this comatose grandmother by herself for some reason.
They start talking to her. She's very sick. She's very ill. She's not okay.
She can't answer them. Yeah.
Sam's like, she has a stroke. So unless you want to poke her with a stick, and Dean just, I'm gonna give it to the camera. Dean just goes,
dude, you're not going to poke her with a stick.
So funny. The mom comes in. She's like, you have 2 minutes to get out of here.
Yeah, or I'm calling the cops. The cops. Obviously.
So they book it out of there. They drive away. She watches them go. And then we get the reveal that Maggie is evil.
Yes.
I love an evil kid episode. Always makes me happy.
Because we get this reveal of like, she's talking to her mom about Maggie. She's like, you are too old to have imaginary friends. Maggie's not real. And you're like, oh.
And then Maggie's like, I don't like her.
And you're like,
we get another cross-cutting doll sequence with the mom outside. She's sending.
Sherwin was like leaving. She's waving Sherwin off, and
the swing on the dollhouse starts moving. Tyler's in there playing, and so she's watching this happen. The swing starts moving. The swings outside start moving. The seesaw starts tipping. The I don't know what you call those little spinner things.
The little things. It's like the twirly things, and you like hold on and run. And
so that starts spinning, and then the car that.
Like her car
starts moving, but it's like a horse wind up toy that's in the room. Starts going after her, and the car comes, and Sam tackles her out of the way. Dean runs up. He's like, let's get her inside. Come on, quick.
Yeah.
They get inside.
I love the idea when this happens too, that the Winchesters are always sitting there waiting, like, okay,
they're just like watching.
See if someone's gonna.
Yeah.
And there it is. Okay, we're gonna move back in because now they're gonna believe
but that sequence rules. It's really
so
cool. I love it. I love the every time the dollhouse does stuff that you see in the real.
I love
Very
it.
Cool.
It's so cool.
So then they get inside, and she's like, whiskey, and Sam's like, I know the feeling because he last night got super drunk.
I got drunk as hell last night.
And they pour her some whiskey. She's drinking it, and he's like, do you want the truth? And she's like, of course. And you're like, okay, so we thought this was some hoodoo magic.
Yeah.
But it's too, and the reason they know it's not Rose, we didn't talk about this, is
she's
hoodoo and voodoo and that kind of magic like that is much more involved. You have to build an altar and brew herbs and stuff. So it's a whole involved thing that she can't do anymore.
No, she can't speak. She
had her stroke a month ago,
yes.
which is when this stuff started happening.
Yes.
So they're like, wait, she was using this to protect people.
Yes, she was using hoodoo to keep Maggie at bay, and now that she's not able to do that anymore, Maggie is wreaking havoc.
Yes, and this mom obviously doesn't believe them. She's like, oh, so you're crazy. And they don't really do much to convince her. It's just they move on.
They're like, lady, you just had all that happen.
And she finds out, she's like, you need to get your daughters and go. She's like, I only have one daughter. And he's like, I thought she had a sister named Maggie. Like, that's her imaginary friend. And they go, that's a spirit.
Yep.
They realize.
Because they're like, did you know anyone who. She's like, oh my God, my mom had a sister named Margaret.
Well, that's in a bit.
Oh.
Yeah. Because right now we cut to Maggie in the room with Rose. And she's like, she's going to stay with me forever about Tyler. And it's very creepy and sinister. And Tyler comes like, you're not supposed to disturb Grandma. Rose is obviously terrified.
Yeah.
She skulks out with her. They disappear. Sam,
she gets off another Shining reference. And she's like, and we're going to have ever and ever and ever.
Yeah. So funny. So they go, Sam and Dean and this mom burst into the room with all the antique dolls, and they're shattered, and they're like, deet, deet, deet. It's
it has
the
this
funniest
really
shit
weird,
ever.
like, and I don't know if this is directly like when it's like, Wendy running around in The Shining, like seeing all the skeletons everywhere and anything, but I assume that's
it's hysterical.
Like, so every now and then Supernatural will use the most like ridiculous sound effect where you're like,
yeah. So now we get the realization. Okay, so she had Rose had a sister named Maggie who died in the pool.
Yes.
They go booking it, and we get and I remember this sequence like clearly.
Vividly.
Is Tyler and Maggie on the like the outside edge of above the pool, and she's like, I can't swim, and there's like a plastic pool cover, and I know, but it won't hurt, and then we can be together forever. And she's scared, and then all of a sudden they start banging on the glass door behind her, and Maggie pushes Rose in.
Yeah. Or Maggie pushes Tyler.
Tyler in, thank you. Maggie pushes Tyler in. Dean and the mom rush around trying to get through, and Sam's trying to break down the glass on this door, and it's not working. Dean can't kick the door down.
Yeah.
And then down in the pool, Maggie has gotten or Tyler has gotten out of the plastic wrap and is like, puts her head up, and Maggie shoves it back down, is holding it.
So creepy.
And then you hear Maggie.
Yeah.
And she like looks and she vanishes, but Tyler isn't coming up.
Yeah.
Sam finally is able to burst through. He just runs and leaps, like a great shot.
A great shot.
Runs and just full leaps over into the pool. Looking around, pulls her up. This very dramatic slow-mo.
Deeply dramatic slow-mo.
As they get her out, and then they rescue her, which is good. The little girl does not die. And then Sam and Dean are like, what, did she just stop? Cut to Maggie and Rose in the room, and she's like, and they're having like a one-sided conversation.
Yeah.
Because Maggie's reading her mind. She can't speak. She's like, you would do that?
You would like, we can do that, and they can go, and you and I can stay here.
Yeah.
And she gives Rose, later they're like, oh, she had another stroke. She basically gives Rose another stroke.
Yeah. So Rose dies, or we don't know that. They go up and they're like, we're going to leave in 2 minutes. We just have to get Grandma. They walk in and Rose is dead. They rush out, and Sam and Dean are like, I don't know what happened, but y'all are leaving, and there's it all seemed to stop. And Tyler's like, I would see her if she was here.
Yeah.
Really good little end here
except for the fact that they didn't do
anything. They didn't kill anything. I mean, they saved the little girl. They saved this mom. I mean, like, they did something. They just didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
my work here is done. But
they usher this mom and daughter into the oldest taxi known to man.
Literally, how was that taxi there?
Yeah. Sam gets a real long hug from this mom. And I made the joke. I went, Sam, get you that MILF. And then Dean immediately makes basically the same joke.
Somebody's like, get you a little MILF action there.
So funny. Then we get a shining ending of like zooming in on the photo, and like here, this place is still haunted.
And the two little girl, and then they zoom in specifically on the picture of Rose as a child, and then we see Rose in her child form as a ghost playing with the ghost of Maggie.
And sorry, right before that, they also talk about Sam and Dean. Sam's like, we talked about last night, and Dean's like, we talked about a lot last night. And he's like, no, the thing we talked about, and it's kind of unresolved still, but they move on.
Yeah,
very tense in their relationship.
Yeah, Dean was clearly hoping that Sam would not remember making Dean promise to kill him, and Dean's like,
oh, he does. Yeah, because he's like, you promised, you have to. Yeah,
and you're like, okay. Sam is once again like is boiling under the surface. Yeah. So.
Okay. Anything we missed here?
Nothing other than the fact that how much did the shining of it all distract you?
I mean, it's distracting, but this is a filler episode for them. Other than like two or three scenes,
yeah,
this is a
and
filler
the
episode.
emotion here is important.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a good
filler episode.
And I don't say filler in a bad way. I love Monster of the Week. I should say Monster of the Week, not filler.
Never, and I want you to know this. We're never, ever going to complain about a filler episode, ever. Yeah. We have lost recipes in TV. Do you know how good Stranger Things could be if we had filler episodes? Yeah. Come on. We're losing recipes, people.
And just in case I didn't say at the beginning, because I can't remember, this episode's called Playthings.
Yes, we said it. We did.
Okay.
We're good.
Okay, best line?
Well, you are kind of butch.
Yeah, very funny.
I think you're overcompensating.
Very funny. Don't go surfing porn. That's not the kind of whacking I mean. Hysterical. Great line. Dean says it in a way that I'm like not even positive he's joking.
Yeah.
So serious.
Dean's
really
like,
good.
There's no time to jack off. Yeah. And you're like, well, were you gonna?
Best kill?
I personally think it's the stairs. I think the stairs are...
The head one at the beginning?
Yeah.
It's the fact that the mouth is still like twitching in the eyes.
And there's a lot more blood. Like you don't think about like... Usually when you see someone get their neck snapped, it's a lot less like bloody. Like it's a little more like... But like he has this like clearly he's tumbled down the stairs and had
like
this
his
really...
head is, gross.
So I mean, and the atmosphere of the hanging kill is really creepy, but I personally... If we're talking about things that could hold their own in the bracket, it's going to be the falling down the stairs.
Yeah, it's great. It's imagery great, very scary, very gross, very good. So this is another really cool, really good two pairs of episodes.
We didn't mention how much those coroners are sick of seeing that mom.
Yeah,
4 deaths in one episode.
Yeah, like they keep coming. I literally was like, do you think she has them on speed dial?
Or it's like, how at a certain point you're like, lady, are you doing this?
Yeah, it's legitimately. He's like, when does she become a suspect? Very funny. Anyway, so now you got some homework.
Yeah.
You have 1 week from today to watch. I say today. I realize I say today every time, but this is the end of the episode. So it only matters if you're watching it day one.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have a week from when this is released to watch 2 episodes of TV, and those episodes are season 2, episode 12, Night Shifter, and season 2, episode 13, Houses of the Holy. I am very excited about these episodes. I think I remember one of them, and I don't really remember the other.
I don't recall the second one, but I think we both are very excited about the next one.
Between now and then, you know what you got to do. Got to get your journal, got to watch some TV, got to hit the road, but remember, You know what's out there. Be afraid of the dark.